starts right now.
A congressman caught up in an FBI investigation. U.S. Representative Henry Cuellar represents parts of our viewing area. His home searched by agents today. We're going to get to that story in a moment, but first on the Night Beat.
Now, the cold front, it is here, and the list of schools that will close tomorrow is growing. The list you can see right there on the bottom of your screen, scrolling over. We also have that list on KSAT.com. Also, many of you are worried about your morning commute tomorrow. Here's a live look right now at I-10 near the medical center. You can see that some drivers are out tonight, but maybe not as busy as it usually is around this time. Now, we saw crews pre-treating roads ahead of this cold front. San Antonio police are also on standby in case any overpasses need to be shut down. Yeah, the concern is moisture could make those areas slick tomorrow. Meteorologist Adam Caskey tracking the timing of all this wintry mix.
And outside right now, we don't have anything falling from the sky. Actually, we don't even have very thick clouds overhead. Now, closer to Yorktown, Cuero, that's where we've had a few showers, just of the liquid variety. No wintry precipitation here. That's just along the cold front as it moves southward. As for the morning commute, we're expecting little to no impact from any wintry precipitation. As we progress through the morning, by the noon hour especially, on through midnight tomorrow, that's when our concern is really the bridges and overpasses. And one reason we say that is because those are the exposed elevated surfaces, exposed to the wind, the cold air. They cool quickly, and they usually meet that air temperature, which is going to be right around freezing most of the day tomorrow. Whereas the surface streets have had 2 days of full sunshine and temperatures in the 70s, and that really bodes well for us and in our favor in terms of just keeping some of those side streets and main surface roadways just a little damp throughout the day tomorrow. We'll take a closer look at the futurecast for the morning commute. We don't anticipate a whole lot of activity on the radar screen. It'll be coming and going throughout the day tomorrow in the form of a wintry mix. And we'll talk about what even causes the sleet, the little pellets that fall from the sky in a bit, along with cold, wind, just a lot to cover here.
All right, thank you, Adam. We'll check back in a few minutes. A reminder, we are posting the school closures at the bottom of your screen throughout this newscast. Many of our viewers gearing up tonight with thoughts of last February's storm still fresh on their minds, but hold on a little bit. Yeah, you know, we are expecting cold temperatures for a couple of days, but we just want to emphasize not like what we saw last year. Still, leaders are getting those shelters ready. Utility companies say they're ready, but families are telling the night team's Patty Santos that they're just not taking any chances.
This storm isn't going to catch people off guard. In an effort to avoid the roads, we found many of them are rushing to their local grocery stores to stock up on food.
I got the eggs and I got beans and I got the milk right here. And then I'm thinking about buying a piece of meat.
Jose Escobedo beat the crowd, stocking up on essentials at La Fiesta supermarket ahead of the approaching bad weather.
Because I know for a fact it's going to get real bad tomorrow. So that's why I'm doing it right now before it catches me tomorrow. And tomorrow, I don't know who's going to be out there, but it's not going to be me, that's for sure.
Assistant Manager Tino Luna says there's more foot traffic than usual, and customers are looking for milk, eggs, bread, and caldo kits.
Normally they'll buy maybe half a basket or buy just what they need. Right now they're buying like they're buying for the whole week.
Even his deliveries are a day early in case roads are closed. The city of San Antonio and local utilities say they're winter ready too. CPS Energy says there is potential for some outages because of wind gusts, but overall,
we do not anticipate any grid-related outages associated with this winter weather.
CPS Energy spent $22 million in winterizing the power plants. The state now also requires inspections. They say they're in a good position to handle this cold front.
So as far as SALT is concerned, as long as ERCOT provides power down here, we will be A-OK.
SALT's president and CEO says their crews have inspected their facilities. Now it's up to customers to inspect their own homes and cover exposed pipes.
Go by history. What has happened to your home before? What worked? What did not work?
He says this will not be a long cold front, but homeowners with pier and beam foundations and those with outside exposed pipes might experience problems.
And you can get this pipe insulation at a hardware store. If you can't get that, you can also just use towels. Make sure that they're tightly wrapped. There's also pipe underneath this deck, so that's also wrapped. And while you are also outside, don't forget to bring in your plants. If they're too big, you can buy some of this product to cover your plants at a hardware store too. But if you can't, just use a blanket, make sure they're covered, and hopefully they survive. Stephania?
Yeah, you just got to use what you have to protect what you have. All right. Thank you, Patty. So now let's talk about the people and how leaders are keeping us safe. So Bexar County officials plan to open these 6 warming centers that you see on your screen tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. You can go to the Bexar County Fire Marshal's office and the Leon Valley Convention Centers to stay warm. So you see the list on your screen, but we also have it for you on our website. Now, the city of San Antonio also has several warming centers. They're also on your screen right now. Now, those 4 community centers open tomorrow at noon. And if you need transportation to get to any of these, you can just call 311. We also need to mention that pets also need to be protected. You could bring them to the sites, to the warming sites in the city. If you have a pet at home, bring it inside. By the way, the San Antonio Zoo also taking precautions with its animals. This is video from last February's storm. It is not expected to get this bad, but the zoo has set up heaters, hay, and bedding for some of its animals that are sensitive to the cold. Zoo workers also say that some of their animals actually enjoy the colder weather, so they're going to have access to the indoor and outdoor areas.
The COVID-19 testing being impacted by the winter weather as well. Community labs will suspend testing for its public testing sites tomorrow. That includes the sites within the Alamo Colleges district, several community centers, and the Wonderland of Americas. However, you can still go to Wonderland to get your vaccine. They will be open for that tomorrow. The Alamo Dome plans to continue with its federal COVID testing site tomorrow as well. It will be open from 7 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon. The city plans to reevaluate and determine what will happen then on Friday. And our weather coverage continues online at KSAT.com along with testing sites. We're also keeping a running list of school closures, just like we are at the bottom of your screen. You can also find that list, by the way, at KSAT.com.
Now, new tonight, the FBI is investigating a local congressman. We are talking about Congressman Henry Cuellar. Now, FBI agents could be seen coming in and out of a home today in Laredo. It's the home that you see right there. Public records list the congressman and his wife as the owners of that home. Now, the FBI didn't say what they were looking for. They also didn't answer when we asked what this investigation's about. Cuellar's office released a statement saying that he's going to fully cooperate in any investigation. And by the way, this is coming ahead of those March primaries.
Yeah, we'll continue to follow that story. Also new tonight, bullet holes found in the driver's side of a car. Police now investigating this shooting. The San Antonio Fire Department confirms at least 1 person died. It's on the city's far east side on Bernadine Drive, not far from Rigsby and Loop 410. Police have not said what led to the shooting. They still have no word on any arrests. We're learning more about those toddlers found tied up and alone earlier this month. Child Protective Services confirms the children were first taken from their biological mother after the kids had unexplained fractures. CPS says they were then placed in the care of this woman, Priscilla Salais. She's the one accused of tying the children up and leaving them alone 10 days ago. Child Protective Services says Salais passed a home study before the toddlers were placed in her care. They reported she was meeting the children's basic needs during their last check on December 29th. In a hearing today, Judge Charles Montemayor had some harsh words saying, quote, all adults, parents, caregivers, and the system failed these children, end quote. He ordered the children begin therapy and child advocates get involved.
The cold front has arrived. You probably heard it outside. The wind has picked up. Temperatures are falling. It's going to be a cold and blustery day tomorrow. We'll take a closer look at the futurecast to talk about the light wintry mix we're anticipating and how temperatures do change in the days ahead. See you in a bit.
And a battle for the ballot. 2 candidates already duking it out in court over a race for district judge in Bexar County. Now the defenders uncovering something new. What each candidate has to say about what appears to be a sudden disappearance of debt. It's next on the Nightbeat. It is the most contentious race for a district judge position in Bexar County in recent memory. The first few months of campaigning by Democrats Nadine Nieto and Lisa Uresti Dasher marked by disparaging comments, claims of defamation, and a failed attempt to have one of these candidates thrown off the March ballot.
And tonight there's a new layer of intrigue, a massive student loan debt that hung over Nieto until the early days of her campaign. The night team's Dylan Collier sat down with both candidates in tonight's Defenders Report.
285th District Court Judge candidate Nadine Nieto has been the subject of liens, tax lawsuits, and court judgments dating back to 1997. None bigger, financially speaking, than this 2010 suit filed by the United States Attorney's Office. It accused her of defaulting on more than $101,000 in student loans and interest, covering her undergrad years and law school. Nieto, who has well over 2 decades of experience as a San Antonio attorney, blames the issues on being a young professional trying to get her footing in the real world.
At the start, things aren't that great, and you're not probably paying attention to the details like you should be.
In fact, during a 2011 deposition for the case, Nieto acknowledged not even having a ballpark figure for how much she had taken out in loans. When asked, "You didn't keep records?" she replied, "No, I did not."
Why not track how much you were taking out in student loans when you're at UT and then Thurgood Marshall?
Well, I do believe that I had a general idea of how much was owed, and the amount that the government was asking for was much higher.
Nieto contested the figure and whether it was even her handwriting or signature that appeared on some of the loan documents. After being hit with a 6-figure judgment in 2012, Nieto appealed and later settled with the feds, agreeing to pay back $78,000. Monthly payments on what she owed continued until last fall, when she was released from the lien the same day she installed a treasurer for her campaign for judge.
I do know that it has nothing to do with me running for office, if that's the implication. And it would have been a coincidence for sure.
Her opponent in the Democratic primary, attorney Lisa Uresti Dasher, disagrees.
It's concerning, and it's concerning that Nadine Nieto would run for this position despite her background and despite her habitual disregard of the law. And it appears that she's unfit to be judge.
Uresti Dasher this month beat a lawsuit filed by Nieto that attempted to have her removed from the ballot over errors in Uresti Dasher's official application for the position. She says her inaccuracies pale in comparison to Nieto's past legal issues.
The judge made a clear decision that her claims lacked all merit, and now I'm on the ballot, and now the voters can decide if they want to vote for someone who does pay their taxes.
The haymakers did not end with the lawsuit being tossed out. In a formal bar grievance filed in late November, Uresti Dasher accused Nieto of calling her a housewife who doesn't practice law. Nieto must formally respond to the complaint by the end of this month. In 2018, in a federal sentencing memorandum for her uncle Carlos Uresti, Uresti Dasher was quoted as saying, "While working in his office, I witnessed firsthand the clients he helped." But in an interview with us, she claimed she simply had office space in his building and never worked alongside her uncle, who is currently serving 12 years in prison.
I believe that the person that fulfills this position, who is elected as judge, has to be honest, trustworthy, and competent enough to fill out a simple application.
You know, I've been working hard, resonating with voters, meeting them out in the community since probably May.
For the Defenders, Dylan Collier, KSAT 12 News.
A reminder, make sure you are registered to vote by January 31st. Early voting for the March 1st primary scheduled to begin February 14th. The winner of the Democratic primary moves on to face Republican Mark Thompson in early November.
All right, now let's take a live look outside, a live look downtown right now where it is 58 degrees, and that number's just going to keep going down, right, Adam?
It is. It's going to keep on falling. It's falling almost every 10 minutes. We see that temperature drop, the official readings. And I want to talk about temperatures in general. You know, a lot of us think back to last February, of course. That's our big benchmark. That was not a good situation. We were below freezing for about 107 hours officially in San Antonio. Tomorrow, we'll be at right around the freezing point most of the day, from about the noon hour all the way through early morning on Friday. But notice we get back into the upper 40s by Friday. So we're looking at sub-freezing temperatures for maybe 18, 24 hours in some spots. So nothing like the Arctic blast that we had last year. But you're going to feel this, that's for sure. Let's talk about it. First of all, the setup. We have showers and thunderstorms closer to Houston. That's some good moisture. I wish we could tap into some of that moisture, but we just don't have it. That's not in our cards this time around. Actually, we just have thickening high clouds. You can still see the moon through the clouds. We're watching this little dip in the upper level flow near Albuquerque. That's the upper disturbance that's going to help give us the lift and energy we need to generate some precipitation tomorrow. And notice some radar echoes and a little bit of radar activity around parts of New Mexico right now. Here's our futurecast. And as I show it to you, I want you to keep in mind that we can't pay too close attention to exactly where you see the colors at any given time. This is the kind of situation where we're all going to be experiencing it periodically and at different times, kind of randomly throughout the day. But nonetheless, what we are anticipating is most of the coverage of precipitation midday hours, around the noon hour, on through the afternoon and early evening. And a wintry mix, a little bit of just liquid rain, some frozen raindrops, sleet, and even the potential for some light freezing rain, which is the raindrops that turn to ice right when they hit elevated surfaces and sometimes even the ground. Primary concern, bridges and overpasses. They cool quickly, they're exposed to the elements, and they can often drop down to that air temperature and cause a few slick spots. We could have a little bit of a dusting on some of the elevated surfaces, such as your backyard deck, lawn furniture, your car. If it's been sitting outside all day, you can have a few little granules on there and some sleet pellets. So in order to develop sleet, we have these layers of the air above us, and each layer has a different temperature. So up in the clouds where the snow is made, it's nice snowflakes, but then it hits a warm layer on its way down, melts into liquid, and then hits another cold air layer near us and turns into an ice pellet. So that's that ting, 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 ting you hear outside, and that's sleet. It's just a frozen raindrop, but can be problematic on bridges and overpasses. Look at that cold air coming in from the plains and parts of North Texas and Oklahoma. Temperatures there, 20s and teens. We have 40s in the hill country, 60s south of Highway 90. The cold front continues to push southward through our area. Stinson 65, Bulverde now 55. Low to mid 30s all day tomorrow. I think by about 1 o'clock we'll be at the freezing point, 32 degrees. And then that's going to last all the way through the early morning hours on Friday. Not only cold, but windy. Hey, look at Hondo. A gust already up to 43 miles per hour. More gusts up to 40 miles per hour through the night and through the day tomorrow. So that's going to make it feel like it's closer to 20 degrees. Air temperatures low to mid 30s tomorrow, feeling like it's closer to 20 if you work outside, or if you're just venturing out, you need to bundle up. Friday morning in the 20s to 26, but by the afternoon, we're well into the 40s with sunshine. This weekend, we'll make it back into the lower 50s, and actually some decent rain chances next Monday.
But Adam, how again does sleet go?
Ting, ting, ting,
Okay,
ting,
thank
ting.
you. I needed to remember that. Thank you.
Needed to have that in the mind. All right, if this is the San Antonio Spurs at full strength, give me some more of it.
Yeah, first time that's happened since January the 5th. Now, if Oklahoma City is the Thunder, tonight the Spurs are the Lightning. When we come back, we'll show you how the Spurs are able to do it behind DeJounte Murray's another triple-double. The man deserves to be an all-star. And you'll meet Lanier High School's new head football coach. There you go when we come back. Spurs get Trey Jones back for the first time since January the 5th, but they lose assistant coach Mitch Johnson, who joins Becky Hammond in COVID protocols against OKC. Tonight, Spurs with a hot hand early, sharing the rock, going from good to great. Keldon Johnson nails a corner three. Jakob Poeltl kicks it out to Derek White for the three. It's a 10-0 Spurs run. Final seconds of the first quarter. Spurs pushing the pace here. Keita Bates-Diop going to the hoop for the layup and a 32-22 lead. Devin Vassell from downtown on the Spurs lead grows to a dozen. Spurs take the largest lead of the first half when DeJounte Murray pops a three. 69-51 Spurs at halftime. Spurs hot shooting continues in the third, knocking down 8 of their first 10 shots, and 4 of those were threes, all from Doug McDermott. This one puts the Spurs up by 25, 90-65. Spurs on a roll. Check out the pass from Murray. Drives the lane, then between the legs pass to Drew Eubanks, who throws down a huge slam over 2 Thunder defenders. Manu would be so proud. Final seconds and third, Murray skies for the rebound, and then it's another triple-double, his 8th of the season, 12 for his career, only 2 behind David Robinson for most in Spurs franchise history. The final 118-96.
A lot of us was put in situations this year and getting opportunities to finally, get to play. We're used to having vets around, and, now we're a young team, so everybody's, just getting opportunities, and, we're all new to it. But mainly that's just having fun, just trying to have fun and win basketball games.
All right, late last night, the Spurs traded guard Bryn Forbes to the Denver Nuggets in what amounts to be a 3-team deal that includes Boston. In exchange, the Spurs will receive power forward Juancho Hernan-Gomez from the Celtics, whose contract is not guaranteed after this year. Denver's protected 2028 second-round pick and $2.35 million. Forbes re-signed with the Spurs during the offseason on a 2-year deal after spending 1 year with the Milwaukee Bucks, where he won his first NBA championship. Here's a look at the complete trade. The Spurs get all the way down here. Hernan-Gomez, the protected pick, $2.35 million. The Nuggets receive Forbes, and the Celtics get Bobo, who's Manu Bol's son, and P.J. Dozier. Both of those players are injured. Now, during the Spurs shoot-around this morning at their practice facility, Doug McDermott was asked about the team's midseason trade of Forbes to Denver. If anyone should know firsthand about that, it's McDermott, who's played on 7 different teams in his NBA career.
I've been in my fair share of trades throughout my career, so I kind of know how this works. You know, it's just part of the business. I know people say that all the time, but at the end of the day, we're still getting paid to play basketball, the game we love. Regardless of what team you're on, it's a blessing.
Next up, Friday against the Brooklyn Nets. Both the Cowboys coordinators out interviewing for head coaching jobs to meet the new head coach of Lanier next.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator Kellen Moore, defensive coordinator Dan Quinn have both interviewed for the vacant head coaching position with the Denver Broncos. For Quinn, was a former head coach in the NFL with Atlanta, is believed to be his first interview since the Cowboys ended abruptly in the first round of the NFL playoffs. For Moore, it would be his second after he met with the Jacksonville Jaguars virtually, but are expected to also visit Minnesota and Miami. Today also marked the first press conference for Mike McCarthy after several media outlets have called for his ouster following the Dallas debacle against San Francisco. He was asked if he hadn't been given any clarity on his job security.
I've had a chance to, talk to Jerry, after the game for a long time. Also saw him again Monday, so we had very positive, conversation and just the focus on the evaluation process.
We'll see. Buccaneers head coach Bruce Arians has been fined $50,000 for striking one of his own players during the Bucs' 31-15 playoff win against Philadelphia. Arians slapped safety Andrew Adams in the helmet, elbowed him to try and prevent a penalty as pulling players off the pile. Arians plans to appeal his fine. Former TCU head football coach Gary Patterson is now a member of the Texas Longhorns football staff. That was reported today by Horns 24/7. Patterson was spotted wearing burnt orange alongside athletic director Chris Del Conte at the Longhorns basketball game last night against Kansas State. His role with the team will be as a special assistant to head coach Steve Sarkisian. Meet the new head football coach at Lanier High School. He is Salvador Tellez, the former offensive and defensive coordinator, along with assistant coach of the Vogue since 2013. Coach Tellez succeeds Don Gatton, who played for him, back the way, in 2001. Gatton retired after 24 years as head coach with 12 playoff appearances, including last season with 4 decades in high school coaching. After Coach Tellez's appointment was approved by the San Antonio School District Board of Trustees, we visited with him today at Lanier High School.
It's exciting when you're able to get promoted from within and actually coach for him and actually play for him back in the day. And he had a huge, tremendous amount of confidence in me then, and it just rolled over to the coaching field.
Congratulations to Coach. He is Lanier High School. He is Westside, so it's great to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Reward their own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that is
thanks,
pretty
Greg.
awesome. We'll be right back.
Intermittent wintry mix throughout the day tomorrow. You'll hear a little bit of sleet and see a little bit of rain and even a little bit of a light glaze on some elevated surfaces like your back deck, lawn furniture, maybe a vehicle that's been sitting out all day. Windy and cold. If you work outdoors or if you're just venturing out, you need to bundle up. I mean, we're talking low to mid 30s all day tomorrow, feeling like 20. But this is not a prolonged freeze like what we had last February. I mean, we're talking 20s, cold Friday morning, but we'll make it up into the upper 40s to near 50 by Friday afternoon with sunshine. And this weekend, we'll have some cool mornings, but the afternoons will at least be in the lower 50s. Also, some somewhat promising rain chances. Rain chances by Monday of next week. We could use it.
Blustery tomorrow. Blustery, is that the word you used?
Yeah, it's a good one for tomorrow. Blustery.
I've been accused of being that before.
By the way, we here at KSAT are going to be here with you every step of the way. We've got a full team tomorrow on GMSA, so watch out for that and for updates on your phone. Now that does it for us. Have a wonderful night.
Got you covered on air and online. Have a great night.